My son wanted to come. Oh, wow. I told him, I think this is about twice as long as the last time. And he goes, it's no problem. I'll bring the tablet once we move it. No, it's not. You sit in this and stay home.
I think that's neat. They show it's mentored there.
That kid will fall back.
Nice.
He misses mowing the yard. He used to sit by that.
All right, it's 5:30, so I'll call us to order. Allison, will you call the roll?
Nice. Here. Merle.
Here.
Neeson.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Topliff.
Here. All right, we do have a quorum. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather this evening, we ask that you influence our hearts and minds so that we can govern this city fairly and justly. We thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon our community, and we ask for continued protection upon our city crew and staff. In Jesus' names I pray, amen. All right. Oh, yeah, God, where am I?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You know, as you get older, things just slip.
Okay, we'll start with the consent agenda. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, but within that, I'd like to take out HB 5 and 6 and put those into council action.
Okay.
For further discussion.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda, moving items H, B6 and B5 to the further action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Sorry. I'd like to recognize some guests. We have West Plains firefighter Wayne or Mayor. And there you are. And Tim Beam, with some Fire Academy updates.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Come on up. Been a minute or two since Mr. Bean has been in front of us.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council, City Administration. As you know, I'm a lieutenant with the West Plains Fire Department. I'm also the coordinator of the Fire Academy. Little bit of information about training in the West Plains Fire Department. Between October 2004 and May 2021. And that was with, I can't remember if you were chief or assistant chief then, but I've been through 5 chiefs now, so I lose numbers somewhere. You've been chief, okay? We've held 33 certification courses registered through the Division of Fire Safety with a total of 315 students completing. So I'm not really sure, they didn't have the numbers of how many certifications were gained through that. In August 2021, we started the Fire Academy. You all agreed, or those who sat in your spots then agreed to fund the Fire Academy. So between August 2021 and November 2023, we've completed 14 certification courses with a total of 161 students, and 93 certifications have been issued. We have 2 awaiting grading on their certification, and then 7 more awaiting their test date to test for certification. So our numbers are up pretty good. We've reached West Plains, Mountain Grove, Caulfield, Howell Rural, 11 Point, Pumpkin Center, Pomona, Squires, which is in Eastern Douglas County, Willow Springs, and Houston Fire Departments have been part of our student rosters. I have, as of 4 p.m. this evening, I have 15 applications for the Recruit Fire Academy that's starting January of 2024. So just a little bit of background on the certifications. Since 2004, It has taken me about 19 years to obtain 19 out of 24 certifications that the division offers. Okay, this is due, I've had some certification classes in West Plains. I'm part of that first 315 students. But some of them I've had to go out of town to get. Having the academy here, being an instructor, I can bring a lot of these certifications to get to the firefighters in this area. It really helps not only the West Plains Fire Department as getting our personnel certified, but the surrounding departments that may come in and help West Plains firefighters. Out of the classes that we've held in the academy, 5 of the students have become full-time firefighters at this time with the West Plains Fire Department. 1 student has become a part-time employee. He's a part-time firefighter. The full-time employees, I believe, are all engineers. And we have 1 that's going through the process of HR to become an engineer with the West Plains Fire Department. So that's pretty good. I mean, we've gained personnel out of that for the full-time status. I believe 2 of those were civilians that started in the academy, got really excited about it, joined as a POC, and then moved up in the ranks with the fire department. We have 19 personnel on our roster right now. We have 3 fire service instructor 2s, which are lead instructors. Just about any certification we hold, we can teach in our academy. 4 fire service instructor 1 certified. We have 2 awaiting grading for their instructor 1 certification, and I have 5 more that are interested in obtaining their certification for instructor 1. So that would give us 14 out of 19 that could be instructors with our department to help with the academy, to help teach as we go along. I just wanted to give you this update on how the academy's been doing. Plans coming to the future. We got the Recruit Academy, which if everybody passes everything, they can obtain 4 certifications. We're looking at tech rescue, to do high angle, low angle rope rescue. Those are 3 certifications that can be obtained in that training. Driver operator, there's 4 certifications in that training. Of course, instructor, I want to get these guys on board because once they get certified in a training up to a certain level, then they can teach along with us in those classes so we can get more certified instructors and just keep the ball rolling as we go along. We haven't given you an update since we started in 2021. I thought it'd be a good time. And then Fire Marshal, I keep wanting to call him Chief Bean, but Fire Marshal Chief Bean has something he'd like to talk to you about.
All right, well, greetings, and it's really an honor, Lieutenant Cormier, thank you for inviting me down to my home. And it's listening to this data and the stats, it's amazing that the vision of serving others, and I think it's been said that there's power in education, right? And the tradition of West Plains Fire over the years, we wanted to be educated firefighters, to bring a service to you, our customer, myself, my family, and like anybody that crosses over the city limits of West Plains. If there was a situation that arose and our services was asked upon, we wanted to bring a good product to that event. And I think that gets accomplished day in and day out in your city. And for that, I'm very grateful. I travel our state in this capacity, and I get excited when I see people invest in their profession. And you have something to be very proud of in this fire department. And that legacy started, you know, I started in 1984, and prior to that, some will know Chief Redburn. Hubert Redburn was my chief, and he, I think, established that legacy on his watch. And when I had the opportunity to serve you as your fire chief, we maintained that, and we started this firefighter 1 and 2 because we felt like the skill sets and the knowledge that created and getting the state certifications made us a really good fire department and to serve. And Lieutenant Carmier and Captain Wilbanks, they drank the Kool-Aid, and I'm really happy to see. I've been gone now almost 7 years from the city, and I'm so happy to see they are carrying that torch on and serving you with good trained firefighters. And, you know, the list he was reading here, we have over the years trained hundreds, way beyond this 300 that didn't get certifications. You know, they took classes, may not have been certified type classes, but our fingerprints, this department's fingerprints, are on a lot of people across our state. And for that, I'm very proud to be associated with them over the years. When he contacted me, I said, absolutely, I want to come down. And I get a chance to get home, of course. I had to turn around and go back to Jeff City, but anyway, it's good to be home. But I wanted to, you know, also show my appreciation as your state fire marshal to the city of West Plains for the financial and the support that you have given West Plains Fire over the years. So I put a certificate of appreciation to the city of West Plains, in parentheses, make it happen here. I got that right? Okay. Didn't have that logo when I was here, but I'm glad to see that. It reads, with the birth of West Plains in 1932, and subsequently in the years to follow, the West Plains Fire Department services have been a big part of the history associated with the residents and businesses of West Plains. Since the creation of the West Plains Fire Department in 1928, men and women have been committed to be professionally trained and ready to serve their community when the emergency strikes. Once as the fire chief and presently the Missouri State Fire Marshal, I would like to say thank you to the past and present mayor, city council men and women, and the city administrators for understanding and supporting a sustainable must for a community to flourish and to survive. Supporting the West Plains Fire Academy is a great example of investing in firefighters who protect your citizens, the community, and anyone who crosses in the city limits of West Plains on today's date and signed by myself. So I'd like to present this to you, Mr. Mayor, of appreciation for your support or announcement. Also,
Hi, Tim.
Here's our challenge coin. I'd like to leave with you. Fire Marshal's office also. I guess you can say yes, right?
Thank you.
We'll have to disclose later.
Thank you.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Sir. Good too. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good.
I know. I just feel like I should duck when I'm in group photo.
All right, guys, 1, 2, 3. We take one more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, but you guys have
become bigger than just now, regional. Appreciate it, and, you know, doing the rodeo and stuff, I see, I have. Big family, isn't it?
Yes. I might add, I forgot to say this, but that point there, I mean, from West Plains Fire, you have people that work. The fire marshal's office, there's a lot of other places that started here at West Plains Fire and expanded their careers all across our state and outside of our state. Big legacy.
I know you represent as well, too.
DIZ.
ZER.
Okay, guess we'll move on to ordinances. Bill 4747 to become ordinance 4747, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to add the following section to the city code. Chapter 28 offenses, Article 3, offenses against public health and safety, Section 28-84, possession of marijuana, Section 28-85, public consumption of marijuana, Section 28-86, consumption of marijuana in a motor vehicle, and Section 28-87, marijuana accessories.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that Bill 4747 become ordinance 4747 during this second hearing or reading. I'm sorry.
Second.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Just in a quick review from the first reading, Section 2884 deals directly with possession of marijuana with individuals under 21 years of age and in schools and our correctional facilities. 2885 is any public consumption of marijuana in public that has public access. Section 2886 is consumption of marijuana in motor vehicles while operating or any occupant while vehicle is being operated. And Section 2887 discusses marijuana accessories, again, for individuals under the age of 21. The department has received no comments from the public for or against the ordinances. And just a reminder, the city legal as well as city prosecutor's office has vetted these and found them to be appropriate. So,
I've only had one comment from someone, and I just discussed it with them, and this little misinterpretation on someone's part. Thinking we were stopping at homes. You can't smoke in your own home. And I'm like,
that's not, yeah.
yeah, I said, I think you misread something. So,
I've got a question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Chief, how's your department gonna make this information available so people will know without getting arrested or warned the first time? What's our strategy for advertising what you can and cannot do if you're consuming this product?
We normally put these on our Facebook account in our, this, as well as the cities to show new ordinances. In most regards, depending on the situations, the first time they'll probably end up getting a warning. You know, like I said last time, the most important one for us on this is the public consumption. Because we get lots of people complaining because they're smelling it and they feel like they want it stopped. And in the past, there was just nothing for the officers to be able to do. So that's why we wanted the ordinance, so we could at least let them know that they can't do that in a public access area. So
Would it be fitting for the person selling the product? Give them little flyers at the place of business so that people will understand? Would that be something that the city might consider to educate our public?
we could probably arrange that. I mean, I've already got the format, so we could make some and present it at some of the locations. I think there's really two.
Yeah, just two.
City, so.
Good
Thanks.
suggestion.
And again, this is a civil penalty,
Mhm.
so it's not a criminal, so it's it all falls under a civil process, so people won't go to jail over it, so it's just a matter of If they refuse to, they give it up summons for a fine. So,
Okay, so if it's not, okay, so it's not criminal,
correct.
but the law enforcement can still arrest. Correct?
Yes, we
Okay.
had to have the ordinance to be able to fulfill the
Okay.
civil process that according to the state law.
Okay, thanks.
All right, no further discussion? Allison?
Bill 4747 to become ordinance 4747, second reading, Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes,
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4748 to become ordinance 4748, second reading, an ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to amend the city code by deleting Division 3 of Article 6 pertaining to an electrical board.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, Bill 4748 become ordinance 4748 at the second reading.
I second.
Hi, Dustin.
Mayor, council, good evening. As you know, this is second reading. We've not received any comments and we ultimately replace that process with some of the state licensing requirements. So if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Allison?
Bill 4748 to become ordinance 4748, second reading, Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes,
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4749 to become ordinance 4749, second reading, an ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri prohibiting parking on Howell Avenue from Olden Street south to Bratton Avenue, East Olden Street, 325 feet west of Howell Avenue, Third Street, 325 feet west of Howell Avenue, and East Olden Street from Howell Avenue to Davidson Street.
every
What
time,
was that again?
the part's unknown. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that Bill 4749 become ordinance 4749 at the second reading.
Second.
Yeah, so not to steal Brian's thunder, he is here tonight, so he may have some additional comments, but to my understanding, we've not received any comments on it, and we have noticed that people are already parking off-street. I think Emily drove by the other day and saw that, and I understand you're gonna be putting signs up if this passes tomorrow.
All right.
Get signs started first thing in the morning, we're gonna take some pictures. Cody's gonna do photos and put it up to the public.
Okay.
Much safer. I've driven past and it looks great.
Yeah. All right. Allison?
Bill 4749 to become ordinance 4749, second reading, Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes,
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4750 to become ordinance 4750, second reading, an ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the city and utility budget beginning January 1, 2024, and ending December 31, 2024.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, Bill 4750 become ordinance 4750 during the second reading.
Second.
Okay. You know, all these next several ordinances coming up, I want to thank your group and the staff. And there's a lot of work that goes into this to provide us with the information to make good decisions. But, you know, the budget process isn't just about spending money. It's about providing services. And I think you guys have started steering that budget that way. And you know, with the structure of fees, we're gonna have to adjust, you know, it's that or you have to cut services. And I know you guys have worked hard to keep this down and make it reasonable. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just follow up from last month, we really didn't have any additional comments. We did have public hearing. It was published in the paper, of course, as required by law. The one thing I did want to mention that is a little different from what I said last month is that we do not tonight have the CIP. I missed the deadline to get that before planning board this month at this most recent meeting, which I actually believe they had one in October, but not a November one. So at any rate, they will do their meeting at the first week of December. So we will bring the CIP as a resolution at the December meeting. But other than that, nothing really has changed on the budget itself. Any questions? Anything I can
Yeah.
answer for you?
We'll have to talk about that meeting. Allison?
Bill 4750 to become ordinance 4750, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4751 to become ordinance 4751, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the adoption of the tax increment financing number 1, 2, and 3 budgets for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2024 and ending December 31, 2024.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, Bill 4751 become ordinance 4751 at the second reading.
Second.
All right. Allison?
Bill 4751 to become ordinance 4751, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4752 to become ordinance 4752, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the proposed water rates.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, Bill 4752 become ordinance 4752 at the second reading.
I second.
Again, no changes here. We do plan on putting all these rates online as soon as they are approved so that people can start planning for next year, budgeting appropriately. We also are planning on putting a little blurb in the December bill to let people know that on their next bill, the first one in January, they will see that rate increase.
Okay. Ms. Skinner?
Bill 4752 to become ordinance 4752, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4753 to become ordinance 4753, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the proposed electric rates.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion, Bill 4753 become ordinance 4753 at the second reading.
Second.
Allison?
Bill 4753 to become ordinance 4753, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4754 to become ordinance 4754, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the proposed sewer rates.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that 4754 become ordinance 4754 at the second reading.
I second.
Allison?
Bill 4754 to become ordinance 4754, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4755 to become ordinance 4755, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to approve the proposed sanitation rates.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, Bill 4755 become ordinance 4755 at the second reading.
Second.
Allison?
Bill 4755 to become ordinance 4755, second reading. Neese.
Yes.
Merle.
Yes.
Neeson.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4756 to become ordinance 4756, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to add the following section to the city code. Chapter 2, Administration, Article 4, Boards, Commissions, Committees, and Councils, Division 10, Airport Advisory Board, Section 2-299, Appointment, Section 2-300, Selections and Terms, Section 2-301, Selection of Officers, 2-302, Recommendations.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, Bill 4756 become ordinance 4756 at the second reading.
I second.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Mitchell.
Hello, good evening. We had, just kind of give you a brief over of what we did at our first meeting. John was there with us. The three folks that are, I guess, the temporary or the whatever.
Interim.
I think we call them. We had a good meeting. It gave them a little better understanding of kind of finances and funding and things like that, and projects that we've been working on for a while, with things that take time. So I think think, I forget what the date is in December. Next meeting, it's
Yeah,
like the second week of December, somewhere along there,
around
but anyway, I think it'll be good. It'll help. I think they can help with some of the, you know, kind of reaching out to folks and talking amongst themselves with the other pilots and folks that are up there. Kind of get the word out and make sure people understand what's going on, or kind of gives them somebody to talk to, so.
Yep.
Besides them coming to us, which we listen, but most of them don't come to us. They talk amongst themselves, so.
All right. Good plan. No further discussion. Allison?
Bill 4756 to become ordinance 4756, second reading. Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4757 to become ordinance 4757, second reading. An ordinance by the city of West Plains, Missouri to amend and replace the following three existing sections of the city code. Chapter 50 zoning, Article 3, districts, Division 13, healthcare district, section 50-442, standards for medical marijuana dispensaries, section 50-443, standards for medical marijuana infused products manufacturing facility, and 50-444, standards for medical marijuana cultivation facilities.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that Bill 4757 become ordinance 4757 at the second reading.
I second.
What was the section for the health district section?
Councilwoman, I promise I'll work on these editing titles for you, I promise. Yeah, and so contrary to chief's ordinance on, you know, the use of medical
Yeah.
medical marijuana, this is really addressing recreational and medical by taking the word medical out of the chapter, and
Yeah.
there's not been any correspondence back and forth with public on it.
Allison?
Bill 4757 to become ordinance 4757, second reading. Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Bill 4758 to become ordinance 4758, first reading. An ordinance approving the adoption of amended budgets for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2023, and ending December 31, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion, Bill 4758 become ordinance 4758 at the second reading.
First reading.
First reading. I apologize.
Yeah, I know, we were on a roll on the second.
I'll second.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry, but you're gonna have to hear
Yeah.
from me again. Did we get a second? Sorry, I missed that. Yes.
Yeah, we do have a
Sorry, I interrupted and then got to talking over people. It happens. So this is basically our year-end wrap-up budget amendment. We kind of went back through all of the accounts, the funds specifically, trying to make sure that we've got enough budget money to cover the expenses that are required by state law. Last year, we increased the budget at the end of the year. This year, we're actually not going to increase the budget. So where we found that we need more money, we're gonna transfer money from other departments who are gonna have some excess. So the caveat there is we actually created a new fund this year to account for some of these special revenues. It's called a special revenue fund. And it accounts for certain things that you can't spend on other items. So kind of earmarking that money, setting it aside. It's not tax dollars. It's not things like that. It's like if you get a donation for like a police program, like the K-9s or something, you put that money in this fund until you get a chance to spend it. So it allows departments to bank certain donations if they're given for a specific cause. So these are generally not recurring items. Generally, it's something that's kind of, well, special, if you will. So we created that fund this year, but we did not budget for it at the beginning of the year. So this will add a budget for those line items. And then the other difference is the library fund. We did increase the expenses there, but it's all related to grants that they received that they were not anticipating. So those expenses will be offset by increased revenues to make a zero net impact for that fund. Any questions I can answer for you? Excellent.
All right, Allison?
Bill 4758 to become ordinance 4758, first reading. Nice,
Yes.
Merle,
Yes.
Neeson,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Topliff.
Yes.
Okay, now resolutions. Resolution 2023-29, a resolution of the city of West Plains, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to execute administrative contract agreements between the city of West Plains, Missouri and Anthem for benefits coverage.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion that resolution 2023-29 be approved.
Second.
Okay, Sam, you want to discuss this
Sure.
one?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Resolution in front of you really just approves my ability to sign some contract agreements with Anthem for benefits coverage for our employees. Just for a bit of background, we are currently with Anthem for most of our coverages. We utilize Mutual of Omaha for some disability and some life insurance coverages. But we went out for bid through our broker this year and received 4 responses. 2 of them were competitive, so between Anthem and United Healthcare. Anthem actually came in at a 3% reduction over what our current rates are. And they actually offered a combined lower premium rate for the coverages that Mutual of Omaha currently provides for employees. So if approved tonight, we'll shift those coverages over to Anthem. This will let me sign those contracts, and we're scheduled to have open enrollment for employees the first week of December. So happy to answer any questions, but appreciate Anthem stepping up. We've been proactive in our attempt to kind of get our workforce healthier and encouraging folks to go find a primary doctor if they don't have one. And so we're seeing some of the fruits of that labor. So we're excited to see the numbers come in. We'd actually budgeted for about an 8% increase next year for medical insurance or for our insurance coverages. So we'll see that savings next year. So happy to answer any questions.
And you did, this is all kind of run through the employee.
Yes, so
Advisory
we met,
board and-
so last week, the picture was a little bit different. United Healthcare came in with about an 8% reduction over what our current premium was. And at that time, Anthem was flat, but they came back and they offered a 3% reduction. So when you take in the savings on the premiums and some of the costs of transitioning from current medical provider over to a new one, at the end of the day, the costs were pretty much a wash and still, to the net, to the positive for the city's budget for next year. So we felt comfortable making that recommendation with Anthem. We had a conversation with our employee advisory committee, just to ask their thoughts. And I think the unanimous consensus among the group was they're happy with Anthem. They don't want to, see any formulary changes to prescription costs or coverages. So their recommendation was to move forward with Anthem as well.
Okay, good deal.
I got a question for Sam, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Sam, is there anything that the employees are doing that is pushing the rates lower?
So rates are generally pretty cyclical, and they look back over a 3-year period. So if you have some high dollar claims over the previous years, that tends to drive rates up. And when you don't have those claims, that tends to drive rates down. So that's a bit of a roller coaster ride over the course of, if you trend it out over 10 or 20 years, usually the rates go up about, 7-8% a year. And especially a lot of organizations, including cities, have seen that trend recently. So I think we're on the downward swing right now. But again, we encourage our employees to go find that primary doctor, go get your physical every year, go get those checkups, that you need to get to kind of head off any issues that might be coming down the pipe. And so again, we've seen that result. So again, it's a combination of mostly fewer higher dollar claims, but also, some of the initiatives that we're taking internally. So good.
Good to hear.
Yep.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
I guess we'll move to council action, and I'm not sure how to do this procedurally.
We'll kind of fumble through this together. I would say, let's discuss B5 first.
Yep.
The West Plains Senior Center. And what's your concerns?
So my concern is we have 2 applications that are associated with employees.
Okay.
And I want to be clear, I don't fault the employees for applying for this funding. There's no policy that explicitly states that they cannot apply, so I don't want that to be misconstrued. But my concern is that given that we're redistributing tax dollars that I want to make sure that the integrity of the process is maintained, especially since we had very limited funds and had to turn down some applications and reduce the amount of money that was given out to other grant applicants, that if there are, I just don't want uncomfortable questions coming up. Basically.
Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, like, so the West Plains Senior Center, was that an individual?
That's an individual employee who I believe sits on the board.
Correct.
Right?
So it's actually from the board though.
No, they signed the application.
Yeah, but for the board, right?
I don't know.
Project director. That, you know, just on a personal note, I serve on 4 different boards.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things I think here in the city, you will find that we all wear multiple hats.
Mhm.
And my concern is if we're just excluding them because they're city employees, even though it's for another board, it's kind of, you know, I understand your concern. I know I put in for some grants and I have to show the conflict of interest. You know, I have to state that I'm on this board, but then I don't get any financial reward for it. And that's where I think the big red flag comes up. If it was a donation that would go, well, serving on that board, we had a donation come up that they wanted to donate $2,000 to a charitable group. Come to find out, the guy who submitted it, his wife was the president that would have financially gained from that. And that's where, you know, the big red flags show up.
Mhm.
The senior center, this is for, I'm drawing a blank.
What's the project?
Yeah,
So these are, so this is the community development grant through the tourism office. And what they did this year, and Melissa, you can correct me if I'm not saying this right. So they had the regular normal grant applications, and then they set aside some funds to allow for eclipse related events. So these 2 were related to the eclipse. And with the West Plains Senior Center, it was an application from an employee. With Ozark Artery, it's a nonprofit organization that's run by one of our employees.
What is the activity that they're requesting the funds to provide?
I don't have that in front of
So
me.
do you want me to help you out?
Yeah,
Yes.
that would
I've
be
got it,
wonderful.
so just in case. So in terms of one of the applications, so for the senior center, they're going to be doing a blackout party. And so they're requesting funds for games and activities. So for the Ozark Artery, they are requesting funds to use for basically prizes. They're wanting to do public art in downtown window fronts. So obviously more prize money means more artists, better artwork. Neither one of them are fundraisers, so.
So the senior center would be for $250 would be used for what?
So they're requesting that for just games and activities to be able to go out and buy a little miniature golf set, cornhole, some supplies for concessions. It's not a ticketed event, so it would be free of charge for people to come and
Yeah.
and
So
use it.
the items that were purchased with the $250 would remain at the senior citizen center, be their property?
That's correct. It would stay there. And really, the point of these specific applications, as kind of Jessica referenced, is obviously because of the 4-day event that we're having, we're wanting to have as many activities during that time as we can. So we open it up for nonprofits to be able to apply up to $500 to support their events. So hopefully when we get a lot of visitors into town and they're going to be spending a lot of money, hopefully they will have a lot of opportunities, activities, et cetera, around town to enjoy.
And well, and I want to point out, this is a very small amount of money, and that everyone who applied for Eclipse money was approved.
Correct.
Right.
But I will say that everybody that applied for money, so the board approved half of what they applied for. So if that helps. So they applied for 500, these two applications, and they were approved for 250.
So this is my personal favorite program that we have in the city. And I've helped several groups connect with this, helped steer them on how to apply, what's appropriate, but I always abstain and back away when it's time to vote or sign papers. But I think if we drew a line on what's appropriate, not, we might all land at a very different place. But the biggest issue for me is that we don't have a mechanism to decide what's appropriate and what's not. And I think all of us in here either serve on other boards or have in the past. So like you said, that makes this very, very tricky. My discomfort comes from the fact that when I kind of realize there's no policy in place or a mechanism to keep this uncorrupted, I just kind of question whether or not we should open the door in the first place without coming up with some kind of solution.
The way you word that is good, because I was going to bring up, we have brought this to light for this round, but perhaps in the future, we need to add conflict of interest on the forms so that people can, self-report in that case.
And that's a valid point. This is the first time this has really come up.
Yeah.
Kudos to the one employee that actually filled it out for the application. Proud of him for his effort, but for transparency and to stay above board would probably be a good idea. I don't want to speak for the tourism board. I think on behalf of the city, it'd probably be a good idea to have a disclaimer in terms of who can qualify and who can't, for sure. So I would support that. Absolutely.
That being said, thank you for catching it. You know what I mean? I mean, it would have happened sooner or later, and it could have happened on something that was maybe even, like a $5,000. And so you got to bring it to light. Like I said, you bring the conflicts to light. Obviously, the employees involved here are not going to be financially gaining from this. So, but it's a problem we identify, and I think we'll handle it in the future and have it discussed. So,
Mr. Mayor, if it'd be in order, I make a motion that we approve the West Plains Senior Citizen application for $250 and the Ozark Artery Inc. application for $250 that's being recommended by the Tourism Board.
okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Thanks for bringing it up.
I think that would just require a voice vote. It doesn't require an individual reading or anything.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 3-1, we passed. Good deal. All right.
No.
Oh, no, I'll talk. You're probably worn out.
The city administrators report.
Thank you. Just to follow up on the last conversation, I have had a chat, and so I think we will be working on some sort of policy that we can present to you guys for consideration at some point in the future. Do want to be cognizant of the fact that we are a small community and we do have several employees that are active on several community organizations. So we'll work on crafting a policy that respects that and doesn't discourage that activity, but at the same time does make it pretty transparent when it comes to making requests for public funds. So I appreciate the conversation, and we'll follow up on that, and we'll get something to you guys certainly as soon as we can. In terms of updates, just a few things as we head into holiday season. A reminder that city offices will be closed next Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. That does affect our trash schedule as well. So Monday and Tuesday routes will be picked up on Monday. Wednesday and Thursday routes are going to be picked up on Tuesday, and Friday routes will be picked up on Wednesday. We've shared that online through our social media accounts. We'll continue to push that message out so that residents don't miss their trash days. And then coming up on December 6th, we will have our Christmas tree lighting event on the square at 6 p.m. So we invite residents to attend that. December 1st. So, yep. Okay. That's it.
Shoot, I was like,
Sorry, gang. Don't worry, I had December 6th. I caused panic in the back of the room. So my bad. But no. So.
You didn't want us to go, did
we'd all be there going, it's already on.
Yeah. But we are working on some collaborations with Somo Tech. They're going to be doing some cool stuff. And then we're also working to get an FM radio frequency so that people who want to watch the lights dance to the music can pull up and turn on the radios and watch that. So hope I'm not ruining any surprises by saying that, but I try to add new stuff each year to keep things exciting and growing. I know the downtown development or downtown organization is planning to get involved. So we're excited about what's coming. So that's all I have for you, unless you have any questions. We have an answer.
All I know is I have a new suit.
Excellent.
All right, well, it's getting in that time of the year. We're all gonna be getting busy next week. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I know we've been blessed and we have a lot to be thankful for. And one of the things I'm really thankful for is people that are sitting up here with me. And you know, this stuff is a lot. You know, you can face any problem forward if you know who's behind you to help you. So appreciate everyone. So with that being said,